Nelson Mandela, a long walk to freedom on July 18, 1918, in the small village of Mvezo in the Transkei region of South Africa, a boy named Rolihlahla Mandela was born into the Thembu royal family. His father was a respected councillor to the Thembu chief, and his mother was one of 4 wives. The name Rolihlahla means pulling the branch of a tree, or, more loosely, troublemaker. Little did anyone know how prophetic that name would become. When he started school at age 7, his teacher gave him the English name Nelson, a common practice at mission schools. Tragedy struck early. In 1930, when Nelson was only 12, his father died. The young boy was then adopted by the acting regent of the Thembu people, Chief Jongantaba Dalindyebo, and raised in the great place at Mkekazweni. There he witnessed tribal meetings and began to understand leadership, justice, and consensus, lessons that would shape his entire life. He attended mission schools, Clarkberry, Healdtown, and then the University College of Fort Hare, the only residential university for Black Africans at the time. He studied law and politics and became involved in student protests. In 1940, he was expelled for refusing to resign from a student council boycott. Rather than return home in disgrace, Mandela fled to Johannesburg in 1941, the city that would become the crucible of his political awakening. In Johannesburg, Mandela lived in the crowded township of Alexandra, then moved to Soweto. He finished his BA degree by correspondence through the University of South Africa and began studying law at the University of the Witwatersrand, one of very few black students there. In 1944, he joined the African National Congress, ANC, and co-founded the ANC Youth League with Walter Sisulu, Oliver Tambo, and Anton Lembede. They pushed the ANC toward a more militant, mass-based struggle against racial discrimination. That same year, he married Evelyn Mays, a nurse. They had 4 children, though one daughter died in infancy. In 1948, everything changed. The National Party came to power and formally introduced apartheid, a brutal system of racial segregation and white supremacy that would dominate South Africa for the next 46 years. Mandela and the ANC responded with the Defiance Campaign of 1952, a mass non-violent civil disobedience movement. Thousands were arrested, including Mandela. He was now a national figure and became president of the ANC in the Transvaal. In 1952, he and Oliver Tambo opened South Africa's first black law firm, Mandela and Tambo, helping ordinary people fight past laws and injustice. By the mid-1950s, the government was cracking down. In 1956, Mandela was arrested and charged with treason along with 155 others. The treason trial dragged on until 1961, and all were eventually acquitted. During the trial, his personal life changed dramatically. He and Evelyn divorced in 1958. In the same year, he married Winnie Madikizela, a young social worker who would become a powerful figure in her own right. They had 2 daughters, Zenani and Zinziswa. In 1960, police opened fire on peaceful protesters in Sharperville, killing 69 people. The ANC was banned. Mandela now believed non-violence alone could not defeat apartheid. He co-founded Umkhonto we Sizwe, Spear of the Nation, the ANC's armed wing, and went underground as the Black Pimpernel. For 17 months, he travelled secretly inside and outside South Africa, training for sabotage and gathering support. On August 5, 1962, Mandela was arrested. In 1963-64, he faced the Rivonia trial for sabotage and conspiracy to overthrow the government. Facing the death penalty, he delivered one of the most famous speeches in history from the dock. "I have fought against white domination, and I have fought against black domination. I have cherished the ideal of a democratic and free society in which all persons live together in harmony and with equal opportunities. It is an ideal which I hope to live for and to achieve. But if needs be, it is an ideal for which I am prepared to die." Instead of death, he was sentenced to life imprisonment. He spent 18 of his 27 prison years on Robben Island, breaking rocks in a quarry, then later in Pollsmoor and Victor Verster prisons. Yet even in prison, Mandela became a global symbol of resistance. His imprisonment drew worldwide condemnation of apartheid. In 1990, under enormous international pressure and with South Africa's economy suffering, President F.W. de Klerk unbanned the ANC, released political prisoners, and on February 11, 1990, after 27 years, Nelson Mandela walked free from Victor Verster prison, hand in hand with Winnie. He immediately set about negotiating the end of apartheid. The talks were tense, violent, and difficult, yet Mandela insisted on reconciliation rather than revenge. In 1993, he and de Klerk were jointly awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. In April 1994, South Africa held its first democratic election in which all races could vote. The ANC won decisively. On May 10, 1994, at the age of 75, Nelson Mandela was inaugurated as South Africa's first black president. During his single term, 1994 to 1999, Mandela focused on national reconciliation. He established the Truth and Reconciliation Commission to heal wounds rather than seek retribution. He championed the new constitution, one of the most progressive in the world. He worked tirelessly to unite a deeply divided nation. After stepping down in 1999, he continued advocating for peace, HIV/AIDS awareness, tragically losing his son MacArthur to the disease in 2005, and children's rights through the Nelson Mandela Foundation and the Nelson Mandela Children's Fund. On December 5, 2013, at the age of 95, Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela passed away at his home in Johannesburg. The world mourned. 10 days of national mourning were declared in South Africa. He was laid to rest in Kunu, in the rolling hills of the Eastern Cape where he had played as a child. He turned the impossible into reality, not through hatred, but through courage, forgiveness, and an unshakable belief in human dignity. Today, he remains a global icon of freedom, resilience, and the power of one person to change the course of history. Madiba, father of the nation, a giant of our time. No one is born hating another person. People must learn to hate, and if they can learn to hate, they can be taught to love. Nelson Mandela.